I want to be.
I think it's safe to rest here now. Do you sense one of your friends, Hootle?
Mahag Sar.
Death Blossom!
Glacial Spear.
Here's evil!
Eat this! Eat this! Here it comes! Swallow this!
Spear.
Here's coming! They rush you! You gotta jump for cover, okay?
Armor won't save
Do
you!
it!
Air pressure! Talon Hurricane!
Now! We won that by a mile!
in the sky, come on! Leave the charges to me!
Arctic waterfall! In here!
Eat this! Hey, when did I get
Evil, I never miss!
A charge like that could easily be fatal.
Just as well, I'm here to stop!
Glimmer
Dragon!
Freeze blast! Don't mind if I do!
First strike! I'm ready!
Pierce
I'm on a
evil!
roll now!
Freeze blast!
Wow, look what I just found.
Hoo! Hoo, hoo, hoo. Hoo, hoo, hoo. Hoo! Hoo, hoo, hoo. Look, Hoodle, one of your buddies. Hoo! Little help!
Eagle side! Ready and ready!
Here goes!
Almost!
Go
Making
get
it
him!
too slow!
Raging cascade!
Far enough!
I shall ensure you survive this.
Here's evil!
I'll finish you here and now!
Shield!
Eagle side!
This'll come in handy.
This one keeps charging us.
That's what my shield's for. Get behind me.
Done. I'll leave it to you.
Swords really aren't...
I'll crush you! Ah! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous claw!
Resonate with the earth.
Talon hurricane! Stalagmite! Death
Glacial
blast!
spear! Pierce evil!
Eagle side! Eat this!
Could have been worse.
A fish! You saw it too, right?
I didn't realize there was a pond here.
Yeah, this is Taka Pond, and it happened to have saved my life once upon a time.
What do you mean?
As a kid, I survived life under the past lords by escaping here when I needed to. It's terrible to swim in, but great for catching a bite for dinner away from Renin eyes.
Bear in mind, our rations back then weren't enough to live off of. You had to take matters into your own hands if you wanted enough food to survive.
But how did you catch them? With your bare hands?
That might take a while. Fish are prone to swim away at the first sign of trouble.
I'd put bait or a lure on a line and use it with a fishing rod.
You must not be familiar with fishing if this sounds new to you. Here, let me show you how it's done.
Hey, what do you think about that spot?
Good idea. I'll go for that one. Not my lucky day, I guess. Ha! Not my lucky day, I guess. All right. Well, that wasn't much of a challenge.
You sure know what you're doing.
There we go. I'll catch something bigger next time.
Looks like a pretty energetic fish.
Ha! Reel it in. Well, that wasn't much of a challenge.
Not too shabby, friend.
And that's all there is to it.
Wow. It seems like you need to have good reflexes to catch anything. I don't know if it's really for me. Kisara? I think I've seen enough.
Oh, sorry. I guess I'm just in my own little world when I go fishing.
Looks like we're going to be here for a while.
That's how fishing goes. You wait for a bite, and then the real battle begins.
Miguel told me that different fish live in different regions, and you have to pick the right rod and lure for what you're hoping to catch.
But that doesn't change the fact it's a giant time sink.
Of course, each fish has its own unique flavor, too. And some of them are supposed to be extremely delicious.
When you put it like that, maybe it's worth me trying my hand at fishing after all.
You're just in it for the food.
I was hoping we'd get to fish during our travels. And it just so happens I made sure to grab my brother's old rod before I left Vicente. So, if you ever feel like fishing when we've got a little downtime, just let me know.
Good to hear. Thanks for showing us.
Okay!
I'm always...
amazed what healing arts can do.
Hey. Is it just me, or have those two barely spoken a single word to one another?
I know, right? But after everything that happened with Miguel, is it really any wonder?
Kinda puts a damper on the whole journey though, huh? How long do you think they're gonna keep this up?
If it bothers you that much, why don't you ask them?
Why do I have to ask?
How come you walk together like that?
She really doesn't beat around the bush.
You mean Kisara and myself?
You hadn't noticed? You've been practically joined at the hip ever since we left Vicente.
I guess it's force of habit, most likely. I was always ready to protect him, should the need arise. It sort of came with the job description.
Right. From being in the Elder Menancia Guard. Although, Dohalim's pretty capable of defending himself, isn't he?
Having guards doesn't necessarily mean the one being guarded is weak. No one's perfect all the time.
Even so, it's not like they're entirely wrong, Kisara. You're no longer in my employ, after all.
I don't know. I mean, if it's what she's used to and you're both comfortable with it, then who are we to judge?
But she doesn't serve him anymore. It isn't normal for her to keep following him around like she still does.
You know, she's probably right. And a lot has changed over the last few days. I guess it wouldn't hurt to rethink our relationship in light of the new circumstances. Perhaps I'll give it some thought after all. Does that sound all right by you?
Of course.
You might want to stop asking his permission for every little thing while you're at it.
Sorry. It's not that easy, shaking off old habits. I'll probably need a little time to get fully used to it. I've noticed that sometimes we come across enemies who fight like you, and try to dodge our attacks at the last second.
I hate those guys. I can get some hits in when they move into attack, but otherwise they slip past damn near everything else I throw at them.
If what you're seeking is a way to more reliably hit them, there is a solution.
Try to outclass them on reflexes?
I possess the ability to command Earth elemental beings to some extent. They emerge as the land itself and take root on my command. They will swiftly bind the enemies, at which point you can dispatch them.
Huh?
What he means is that he can make plants grow to hold the enemies in place. At least I think that's probably what he's saying.
I'm glad at least one of us understands him. So basically, if we find an enemy that likes to dodge, we should let Dohalim handle it.
I shall do what I can within my modest means to help.
Dohalim's fighting style is... what's the word I'm looking for? Subdued? No...
Do you mean elegant, perhaps?
Yeah, that's the word. For better or worse, you can definitely tell he's cut from posh rending cloth.
And he's not just skilled with the staff either. He can also use astral arts, including healing ones. I can see how he made it to the position of a lord.
You flatter me, but my fighting techniques merely come from a style that aims to conserve energy by minimizing body movement.
Is that why you wait until the last second before you dodge attacks? To avoid unnecessary movements?
No, I do that to sharpen my senses. I find that doing so is an effective means of drawing out my innermost strength.
Oh yeah, I've noticed you look stronger and strike out with your rod more after you dodge attacks. Guess that's why.
Still, it's a risk. Don't you ever worry you'll dodge at the wrong moment?
Then, it'll be just as well.
Huh?
It's nothing. Let us continue.
Did we really just spend that much money? Why are you looking at me like that?
That armor you wear is standard issue for the Menancian Guard, right?
Originally, I've added some flair to it in a lot of places.
I noticed, especially with that open back.
We guardsmen pride ourselves on never showing our back to our enemies. It's my way of making myself live up to that. Plus, it makes it that much lighter and easier to maintain.
Dohalim, do you have anything to say about this?
Every guardsman is allowed to wear their armor as they see fit.
And you, La?
Huh? Why are you asking me?
Dohalim, care if I hang out for a while? You worried about what's going on with Menancia?
What makes you think that?
Well, you were speaking to Kisara earlier, weren't you?
It's rude to listen in on others, you know.
Sorry. I didn't hear what you two were actually talking about, though. I just figured it was Menancia since it was the two of you.
I am but a former lord who has abandoned his post. I'm no longer in a position to lead the realm in any capacity whatsoever. Yet Kisara still seeks out my opinions, knowing full well that is the case. This despite the fact I am no longer her master either.
Couldn't it be precisely because you're not her master anymore? It's natural for friends to want to hear each other's opinions.
I hadn't considered that possibility.
It's funny what you miss sometimes.
Hardly uncommon among artistic types such as myself. When lordships are decided based solely on one's astral energy, it can lead to funny results.
But even so, you still took your job as lord seriously, didn't you?
Certainly. I learned to perform my functions. However, I was less interested in ruling, so much as avoiding life and death decisions. Of course, such a mentality in the end led only to sickening pain and death taking place elsewhere out of sight. I pretended not to see or hear any of it, content to let our supposed peace and equality keep me blind and deaf to reality. I was a fool.
But you're making amends.
I would like to think so. The path ahead is dark, yet I still walk on. I merely pray that I shan't fall down any holes along the way. We'd best get ready for tomorrow. Shall we get moving? Something feels... odd here. Be on your guard.
I just noticed none of you other Danans have spirit cores. Why is that?
Both of my parents were part of the resistance in Calaglia. In fact, my birth was kept a secret from the Renans.
Mine too. We always lived in hiding, so I never had a spirit core embedded in me like I was supposed to.
What about you, Alphen? You were a slave in Calaglia before all this, weren't you?
To be completely honest, I'm not sure why I don't have one. All the other Danan slaves around me did. I was the only exception. They tended to keep their distance from me to avoid attracting any attention from the soldiers. because of my mask and all. What about you, Kisara? Do you still have your spirit core?
No. I was able to find a good Renin doctor who's sympathetic to our kind, and had them remove it before I left. They did such a great job, the procedure didn't even leave a scar.
One of the benefits of coexistence, huh?
I know that once the spirit vessel was shut down, there wasn't much need for me to hurry. But still, I didn't like having that mark of servitude lingering on me any longer than I had to. It may sound a little strange to hear me say this, but I'm just me now. Not a guardsman or a slave. I'm my own woman. And this is my chance to have a new beginning.
This sure is one rugged road. You'd think they'd keep this at least a little better maintained, right?
Why spend energy fixing that which is rarely used? Repairs require time and effort, which in our world means slaves, often in great numbers. For you, it may be a simple request, but that can quickly become another's difficult burden. Nobody gains anything without someone expending effort.
And you know, somehow that someone always ends up being a Dahnan, while the Renins are the ones who gain.
True enough. Ideally, in a perfect world, I think it's only fair that the ones who need it should be the ones to perform the work.
However, when doing so could be dangerous like it is here, there are many who would prefer that it be others who risk their lives in their stead.
So, what you're saying is that people will just put up with the inconvenience until someone else comes along to fix it for them?
Indeed. And it is those who can no longer bear that feeling that inevitably take action. Much like the Dahnans in our group do so now. As strange as it may be to hear such a thing from the likes of myself.
It's true that most of the Dahnans in Calaglia have been resigned to just accepting things as they are. Still, we can't just blame them for...
What are you making that face for? You're not worn out already, are you?
Nah, just regretting I ever said anything in the first place.
This one's tough, but we have no choice.
Let me know if you need healing.
In a bind? Eat this! Come and get it!
Airborne beam. My specialty.
Tiger Blade! Flying freak! Why can't they just sit still?
Xion, can you take care of them?
No sooner said than done.
Come and get it! Talon Hurricane! I'm on station!
Going in. I never miss.
First try! Tiger Blade! Swallow dare! Now I'm in the groove!
Going in.
Eagle Fly!
Finish it!
Eat this!
Astral energy!
Say no more.
Faster!
This one's
Come and
mine.
get it! Rising Wyvern! Talon Hurricane!
Good to know my training is paying off.
All right.
There's nowhere to run from my heart!
When he slows down, that's our chance.
Demon Fang!
It's like trying to keep up with a wolf!
Double Demon Fang!
What can we?
Take this! Come and get it! Rising Wyvern!
Mega Ray.
Piercing Roar! Rising Phoenix!
Water. Flaming meteor.
Leave the ensnaring to me.
Yeah! And the pummeling to me!
Annihilation.
Take this!
Strike it through. Hear me. Flame of fury. Strike. Here I come. This one's mine. Lightning. Downfall. Tiger blade. Prepare to be sealed! I'm on it! Going in! Swallow dance! Tiger blade! Tectonic punch! Demon fang! I'm on a roll now! Double demon fang! Tiger blade! Into the shadows! I'm on it! Look shot! Next up! Talon hurricane! Eagle drive! Look shot! Pierce through! Rising wyvern! Here I come! I'm not done! Next up! Swallow dance! I'm gone! You're done! One more!
I thought you more defensively minded.
Defense via threat elimination.
I'll crush you! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous claw!
Got some interesting moves there, Dohalim. I'm glad you're on our side.
I'm simply glad to hear that I can make myself useful to you all. Huh?
What's wrong?
We seem to have come across some rather unusual objects.
What, you mean that pile of garbage?
No mere garbage, I assure you. Still, I've never seen anything shaped like it before. I'm intrigued.
Are you curious about this stuff, Rinwell?
Yeah. I think he might have found some old Dahnan relics. They look like the remains of a bunch of objects that disappeared after the Renans first invaded.
And yet here I am, holding them without so much as a second thought. I imagine the sight must be unsettling to you.
Not really, just that it must be nice to be a Renan who has time to indulge in stuff like that, unlike the rest of us.
Are you interested in this stuff too, Dohalim?
Charmed may be a better turn of phrase. I simply love objects that can give me a sense of what their maker was thinking, the history that went into their creation. You see, we Renans have hardly any such objects that trace back to our distant past.
I still don't understand what you two find so intriguing about it, though.
Why not? We're talking about our own culture here.
I get that, but it's not like this stuff is any use now, does it? It's just old. Real old.
Oh, but it does. Holding it in your hands like this, one can feel and engage with the distant past in a way no history book can ever accomplish.
I'll take your word for it. Well, seeing as it's Dahnan history, just make sure you're careful with it. All right, Dohalim?
But of course. That
I wonder if we can make new weapons with this.
Visibility along this path will remain limited for some time. Take care not to get ambushed.
I'm surprised you know the terrain here so well. Lords don't strike me as having much time for wandering in the woods.
Sometimes I would take strolls along here when I wished to be alone.
You always did have a bad habit of disappearing without telling any of us guardsmen.
That enemy looks strong. I bet it'll be worth our while to fight it.
Oh, man.
hope I live long enough to regret this. Take this! Rising Tiger Blade! Primed and ready! Lunar Blast! It's a duel of the arts! Searing Storm!
Pesky airborne scoundrels.
Sounds like a job for yours truly.
This one's Talon Hurricane! Here! Watch this! Radiant Strike!
You've got a knack for battle.
I still plan on training though.
That's what I like to hear.
These little ones are hardly worth our time.
Less talking, more pummeling.
Cut them apart to your heart's content.
I'll run you through! Try this!
Prepare to be seized, though.
Ignite!
Actually, perhaps sound is more
Do it!
appropriate.
Less talking, more doing.
Now I'm in the groove! Heal! I'm all stopped up! Look sharp!
The earth throbs in pain.
These sticks have got your name on them!
Guess I had to use it sometime. I think we can get through this.
Don't let up until it's over.
Who said anything about letting off?
I'll crush you! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous claw!
Water, hear my call.
You're wide open! Swallow dance! How's that for a kick? I'm getting better, right?
Quite. I'll be relying on your fancy footwork.
Does fancy footwork mean running away like a chicken?
No!
I know fine weapon material when I see it.
This one's tough, but we have no choice.
Let me know if you need healing.
Watch this!
I'm not so good with airborne targets.
Where are you going? Super Swallow Dance!
Got flyers.
I've got this. Let a marksman handle it.
Roll now!
All yours.
Eagle Side! Eat this! Here I get!
Laser!
Stardust! Eagle Side! You're done! Piercing Roar! Eat this! Rising Roar!
Do it!
Kisara!
I'll stop your movement.
And I'll stop your life! And done!
Let's keep up the pace.
Done to done! Take this!
I'm all
Destroy! I'm on it!
Annihilation!
Come and get it!
Do it!
Super Swallow Dance! Talon Hurricane! Rising Eagle Side!
On guard.
Hey, I'm pretty lucky.
It's so hilly around here. I can feel my feet getting blisters.
That's mountain hiking for you. It can be pretty tough if you're not used to these sorts of trails.
I take it you're comfortable with them then?
No backing down!
Primed and ready!
Oh, and
This
here I
one's
go!
mine. This one's mine.
Here I go!
Hear my call!
Eagle Side! Eat this! Come and get it! Swallow Dance!
Come one, come all.
The enemy wields arts too.
You'll soon see about that!
Talon Hurricane!
Do it!
Death Blossom! Talon Hurricane!
The tide of battle has turned.
That's the power of comrades in arms!
Right. Comrades in arms.
What? Too sentimental?
This one's mine.
I'm on board!
Tiger Blade! Glacial Spear!
Here's
Swallow
Eagle!
Dance! Whirlwind Snap! You're mine! Finish it!
On guard. Johali!
All yours, Kisara.
This should make for some good weapon crafting material.
Toodles!
Don't get careless!
Don't tell me!
Rising Water! Strike! Look sharp! Hurricane! Win!
That's my cue! If it's in the sky, it's
Shut him
mine!
down.
Now I'm in the groove!
Talon Hurricane!
Lunar corruption!
I'll crush you! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous claw! Faster! Take this! Come on a roll now!
Not in your dreams!
Flame of Fury! Crush! Demon Fang! Talon Hurricane!
There's all... always room for improvement.
Gotta break through! Burn!
Don't worry, I've got plenty to go around.
I'll smash you!
Eat this! Flame of Fury!
Swallow dance! I'm just getting started! Rising Water!
This one's mine.
Leave the enemy's arcs to me! Double! This one's got your name on it!
Action to action! Too slow! What's this?
Piercing roll!
Arctic Kick coming through!
Make it rain!
Rolling! Demon Fang!
Ringwell!
Frozen!
Hammer!
Too slow! You're mine! Dust to dust!
I've taken too many hits!
Chopper Hurricane! Demon Fang!
Rivet Tear!
Demon Fang!
I'm all stopped up!
No further!
Going in!
Electric
Hurricane! Blade!
Tiger Blade! I'll take you all on! Ha! Flare Demolitor!
I'm on it!
Eagle Going in!
Dragon Swarm! Dust to dust!
shot! Do
Eternal
it!
devastation!
One more!
Steel!
Tiger
Demon
Blade!
Fang!
I can feel my precision improving.
This looks nice and tough.
More Danon ruins here too, I see.
What were people even thinking back then? Trying to build anything around here.
Maybe they just had that much time and energy on their hands.
What's this thing?
I won't forgive you! Come on! I'll blow you to smithereens!
No escape!
Clear Dragon!
Watch this!
Searing Flame!
You're finished!
Annihilation!
You're mine! No escape!
This one's mine!
Well, we're on the home stretch now.
Don't take your eyes off the prize.
I'm quite aware without you reminding me.
Demon Fang!
Look sharp! Talon Hurricane! One
Shockwave Slash!
Hear me! Flame of Fury!
Crush!
Burning Crush!
It's over!
Hear my... Red!
Crush!
Hear me! Flame of Fury! Burning Crush!
Do it! Raining Slash!
Well, Frozen!
Hammer!
Hellsing!
See what happened there as you crossed me.
I'm only
Shouldn't have done that.
Rising
We managed to pull through. I sure have built up a sweat with this hike.
Rest assured, we have reached the top. It's all downhill from here, quite literally.
So Mahag Sar's just up ahead then?
Indeed. If you look, across this mountain is the Lord's Keep.
What's this place here? Some kind of old house?
I don't know about that. If I had to guess, it probably served as some kind of shrine.
So